After your sense of novelty comes the eighth sense, which is abundance or oblivion. You have the power and the force over the extremes in the eight, where your thoughts and your actions produce enough influence to change outcomes in your life, to shift and switch, to move your position into a direction which brings you a different angle to life's systems, issues, problems, pain, pleasure, whatever sensory input and output that is existing in the singularity, in the moment, in the space, in the location in which you are standing right now. There are many different influences circling around you into that particular point. So with the eight, it is infinite. It is abundant. There is no limits to it. There is no boundaries other than the ones in which you administer. The boundaries are the limitations of your own imagination. Sensation is eight. The sense of novelty was what I lovingly call the feed. So this one I lovingly call the eight. And it's funny too because it looks like two circles in a spiritual sense that are kissing each other. And there is no penetration. They are just in touch. And that is the key to their mystery. That is what this one teaches. This is the reward for those who are listening. Because there are those who fall in to the sense of novelty and stay there. It's like in the Bible says, the day of rest. Okay? It's a comfortable place to be. And many practitioners, many explorers, they land here and think that this is the mastery of their practice, that they have arrived at their destination. And destination. That is the key to lock the door, is it not? So there are other practitioners out there who have gone beyond the sense of novelty into abundance or oblivion. That is the magic, right? Finding the words to describe something that you previously had no experience of. And by doing that, now you have ate the magic. The warning is to be careful what you believe. So a organization or map of your systems, of your protocols, is required. So these senses end up becoming your technologies, and they run in the background. You don't have to have conscious awareness plugged in, but you can if you want to, because it is abundant. There are no limitations. Again, the limitations are only those in which you refine and define for your own purposes, because you are having a local experience in your world and you have to cope with those systems. So we each have a unique perspective and experience to add to the system which we all have access to. And what you're doing at this moment makes a difference in this sense, because you are feeding this one, okay? And there is a factory, a production that is manifesting and creating itself based on your participation. When you walk down the street and kick a rock, you have changed the matrix. The sense of eight is a magic dedicated to attention, intention, and sensation So shutting down the echo experiment was necessary, and I feel I need to explain it because this is how it pertains to death. Is when we did the anchors for John, because I knew we were going to be discussing time travel at a future date, what was fascinating is the use of the echo experiment when we were performing this, and the echo experiment was based off breath. So it was the Trinity there was, breathing in, breathing out, red, blue, okay, and then the pause, right? The in-between stage, capturing that in-between, and then converting from one form to another. And also, you can even move location, because through the pause and organizing the pause, it gives you a whole nother force and power to draw upon. You are in harmony within the pause. And Echo was designed to teach this. However, it was hijacked. Interesting. And it was hijacked by the John Teeter story, which was an anchor in which we built in time, which was one of the chinks in the armor in which I built on the channel. Very, very clever. So it shows you that there are other magical practitioners out there who know what they're doing. Interesting. So death is why I had to immediately shut down the echo experiment in the middle of our work that we were performing. So I'm speaking directly to the people who have gone through the experiments and who have assisted in building a model that is in harmony with the universe, so to speak. Because what I was looking for is basically the correct phone number. And the only way I could find the correct phone number, because one person can't do it alone, that's just the nature of the fabric of our reality, is that we are required for some reason to work together. We're not allowed to, we can have our own experience, so to speak, but there is this overwhelming sadness that builds inside a person when you do things alone. Okay? And there's something missing when we do good work, or we have good thoughts about others, but yet we have no one to share it with. So that is built into our matrix as a natural law. Okay? Now there are things that happen. There are hermits and cat ladies and stuff like that, of course, right? There are always exceptions. The serendipity plays a role in universe, which makes it all the more interesting. In fact, since we are talking about remote viewing, time travel, and magic, time travel is very interested in the serendipitous moments in life, those unique turns. Because if you could think of it as a business model, if you will, time travelers like to go to the moments when they are victorious. They look for the moments and the angles and how they achieve their final goal. And so they manipulate the now, right? This is what we're talking about. This is the weaponized version of the magic in which we discuss here on this channel. So they go to their point of victory. And they manipulate their world, or the world lines, for those who need some type of filter in order to understand it. They manipulate themselves into a position where they are victorious. That is not the magic in which you learn here. This is different in a way because you're not trying to be victorious. It's not about the destination. It's about the journey. And it's about harmonizing with your life and then applying pressure and temperature and friction when needed. So lessons can be learned. So that way you are in growth. So this magic is not for a determined goal of a fixed point in time and space, but more based in serendipity and surprise. And surprise is an aspect of sensation. Stay curious. If you are always goal-oriented and destination-oriented, you are not allowing for the ancillary, interesting tidbits of life to come into your world. You may miss the little subtleties around you that are asking for your attention. And your intention is the nutrition in which it feeds off of. Hence, why we discussed 8. So, just to lighten the load here a little bit, since I notice I've lost a lot of you along this journey here. Many of you don't comment on the channel anymore. There are several of you who have been here before and who are still with me, and I really appreciate that, because you have given me the inspiration and motivation to make it this far. But this is where we are cutting things off, so to speak, in a way. I'll still be on the channel. Don't get me wrong. I'll still be here. There's been some people who's asked me for interviews, stuff like that. And there's one in particular I want to do. So, and I'll still be posting stuff on here. But we shut down the echo. Let's get to finish off with this. And to shut down the echo experiment, it was necessary because the nature of the experiment was about breathing. And earlier in the channel, and there's people here who know this to be true, earlier in the channel we posted a series of videos that did a triangulation for time travel. And we used John, the name John, as our marker, as our anchor. And when we used the name John as our anchor, we immediately had a flood of information come in, which helped launch us through the Lash Factor experiment, which is the experiment of power, and then the Trinity experiment, which is the one we did before, which is the experiment of force, okay, because we are separating them in this matrix, because this channel is dedicated to teaching you future sciences of hypertech. You may not understand what that means now, but in time, these sciences will become very important, because there is an entanglement process where we are actually all connected to everything around us. There seems to be a coalescence or synchronicity between all things. They just vibrate at different frequencies, which gives them their own unique shape and form. But in reality, they're made of the same substance as we are. They are made of the elements: earth, air, water, and fire. I hope you understand why we closed early on that particular experiment, but I think that you understand how it works well enough. And I'm hoping that this video will bring a little more clarity to what we were aiming for. Again, we are working within the realms of harmony and synchronicity, okay? The correlation sciences, I guess physics would call it quantum entanglement. And each one of these experiments are playing a role in the process in which we have built, because this was a structure, right? We built a map, and this was built with remote viewing, time travel, and magic. The 3 aspects in which you learn on this channel. And you are all welcome to go and listen to whatever you like, because each piece was at least attempted, let's say, right? I may have missed some things. I tried not to. I tried to be very thorough for everybody so people can really practice these aspects in their life, or at least attempt to accept their reality if possible. If they can even stretch their minds to that point. But you see, you have to have a relationship with your gut. You have to have a relationship with your mind. You have to have a relationship with your heart. And you have to have a relationship with your body in order to even come to the realization that the potential exists. And that potential becomes infinite in its process. And it all collapses down to the moment in time, which we call the singularity, the now, the ever-present now. This is all the decisions that have ever been made in the aggregate have folded into this moment. All of your decisions that you have made and that you will make into the future as well, at least the potential exists, right? Those are also all folding into your now moment. So have a relationship with your future self. Find a way to communicate with that person, or at least learn the signs that you leave for yourself along your way. Just as if you have memory. That's what we are accumulating here, is the more defined and refined your memory is, the more where you know where you left things, the easier it is for you to find them in the ever-present now, in the moment. So you could know a million different topics, but what is the one topic that you want right now? That is, and you pluck that out of time because it's organized through time, right? We went over this. Time travel plays a role in your life. You do it every day. All of us do. Okay? We're having an experience, right? That experience is recorded somehow where we all can agree and have access to it. This is how you understand time travel is a reality. Because we all are participating within the same thing, and each of us meet death. Nobody gets out of this alive. I'm trying to close this process off, if possible. Okay? Trying to put this into a perspective for you, because I really would like for you to insert this into your life if these topics are interesting to you, because what I'm discussing here is how to organize your body to be in harmony with your life, with your world. And then through the intensity and the friction of your movement through your life, there are moments of joy and purpose. And this is where wonder comes in. This is where curiosity comes in, because the closer we look, the more we find.